Hey there, all you cool, epic, and awesome fans, followers, and listeners. Welcome. You're now listening to episode 42 of the Cool, Epic, Awesome podcast. My name is Matt, and I will be your co-host today.
And I'm Joe, your other co-host.
And today we're going to have a pretty quick episode.
Yeah.
We've got two films to discuss, the first of which being the spy action comedy Argylle, directed by Matthew Vaughn. And then we're going to talk about my film that I recommended last episode, which is Funny Games from 1997, directed by Michael Haneke. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering his name, but yeah. And then we have for our list today, we're going to do our top 10 animated films, which Joe recommended last episode. So that'll be interesting. I think we'll have a pretty vastly different list.
I think so too.
But yeah, so I guess to start things off with Argylle. So Joe actually wasn't able to see this one.
Yeah, I'm scheduling.
Because it just came out like this weekend, and yeah, you could tell them what you got going on.
Yeah. No, I'm going to Japan on Monday, so I've got a lot of stuff going on. Just been busy. That's all. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see this movie.
But, yeah, you're looking forward to that trip? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. And there's a theater like up the block from my hotel, so I'm gonna try to go see a movie when I'm there. I was telling Matt, FNAF actually comes out in Japan when I'm there, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. But yeah, I've left the country like once, so, but it seems like there's a lot of shit to do there, and
yeah,
you're gonna be gone for like 2 weeks, right? So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I
so
think
we'll have to figure out. I'm gonna have to catch up on everything when I get back.
Yeah, past this episode, the next one will probably be in like a month from now or so, maybe 3 weeks. But whatever, we'll figure it out. But yeah, anyways, to talk more about Argylle. So this film centers around an author named Ellie Conway. And Joe, just take my synopsis and use that to sort of
I mean, I know like the plot of the movie. Like I can like.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, it follows this author named Ellie Conway, and she's famous for writing this hit book series called Argylle, which is about a spy organization and this Agent Argylle character who was played by Henry Cavill in the movie. And yeah, she has this mega successful book series. She's up to like 4 or 5 books. She just when the movie starts, she just released her 4th book. But what ends up happening is somehow what she's writing in her books has mimicked real events that have happened in the real world. Like there's this real organization of spies that what she's writing in her books has actually happened. So basically the plot centers around these 2 spy organizations that come after her to try to see what she's going to write in her 5th book to figure out what's going to happen in real life. So pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I know a big thing with the marketing and the trailers was, who is the real Agent Argylle, and it's like all this stuff. Like, how does it make sense that she's able to do this? I'll get into the spoilers, I guess, a little later on. But
yeah,
to talk more about. Go ahead.
Well,
what?
I was gonna say, I feel like Matthew Vaughn is pretty known for his like fight scenes. So how were the fights in the movie?
I thought the action was pretty great, especially towards the end of the movie. There's a couple action sequences that they just go full blown, like unrealistic, don't care, just fun.
I saw in the trailer like the one with the colored like it's not like it's gas
like
or whatever it is. Yeah,
it's
creative.
Say,
I like when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's my favorite scene in the movie. Just like the build up to that point, and there's like I guess I'll get into spoilers a bit. So if you don't want to know who the real Agent Argylle is, then I guess click off. But yeah. So it turns out that Ellie Conway actually has what is it called?
Amnesia.
And She actually is the real Agent Argylle, but she got into a excuse me, she got into an accident and then like lost her memory. And what happened is the evil group of spies kidnapped her after she lost her memory and like conditioned her to think that she actually lived a different life where she was this like docile, scared of everything, has anxiety. So they programmed her to believe that was her real life, even though she was actually a spy this whole time. And her spy name was Rachel Kyle. So it's like Agent R. Kyle. That was how they explained that. So this evil spy organization conditioned her to think that she was this normal girl, this author, and they sort of pressured her into writing these stories so that they can eventually figure out what's going to happen, which doesn't really make sense the more you start to think about it.
Yeah.
It's a very convoluted way to sort of get information out of her. But yeah, so Bryan Cranston was in the movie.
Yeah.
His character, he plays like the leader of the evil spy organization. I forget what they're called, but the Division maybe, something like that, something like generic.
Yeah.
And then her mother is played by the girl from Home Alone, the mother from Home Alone. What the fuck's her name? She just got cast in Catherine O'Hara. She actually just got cast in The Last of Us season 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that, but so them two are actually both evil spies, but in this conditioning program, they conditioned her to believe that they were her mother and father. But like it's all fake. Everything's fake. And yeah, I guess they
I was going to ask you actually. Oh, sorry.
For 5 years, she's been writing books 1 through 4, and they've just been like watching her. The books that she's written are based on her own memories. So like books 1 through 4 is like stuff that already happened. After 5 years, once she gets to book 5 of like what's going to happen, then the both spies are like trying to get their hands on her like draft of the book to see what's going to happen. It's like, yeah, the more that I'm explaining the plot and thinking about it, it doesn't really make any sense. But
So what does she say is going to happen then?
So
what does she say in the book?
She explains, so they're trying to get like this master key that will like decrypt these files, basically incriminating all of the evil spies with all like their, like their information of like fraud and all this shit that they did. So she basically is able to figure out like how to get the file, and she like figures it out on the fly. It's revealed halfway through the movie, like the backstory of her with her being a spy and everything. Sam Rockwell, who was really good in this movie, he plays like he's part of the good spies, and so is Sam Jackson. It's revealed that he has like a relationship with her while she was Rachel Kyle, not Ellie Conway. So that scene with them, what's it called? Doing like all that the smoke, the colored smoke, that action scene. It's set to like it's supposed to be them and like looking deep into each other's eyes, and like they're spraying like hearts and shit everywhere. I really like that scene. It was funny. And there's like a callback. I don't know if you saw in the trailer that one part where Henry Cavill like lifts up Dua Lipa's character and her legs are kind of like on his shoulders and he's spinning her around.
Yeah.
They like do that move, except she's holding up him and like spinning him around. Yeah, it was funny. It was funny. The movie was just fun. Like it was stupid, but I enjoyed myself. It was 2 hours and 20 minutes, but it flew by. I never was bored throughout. And I usually don't like this kind of genre of movie, like the action comedy kind of thing. Honestly, to me though, my biggest complaint was that I think that Bryce Dallas Howard was miscast as Rachel Kyle. I don't think she's a good Ellie Conway, but when it comes to okay, now she's a spy and like they change her hair to like blonde, and she just like the physicality of it, I don't think she was able to pull off being the super spy. I don't know. I just don't think she was cast correctly.
What do you
At the
mean?
end, I don't know. I just feel like someone else probably would have been better. I don't know
Better.
who else, but yeah,
Fair.
I don't know. I don't think she looked great at the end of the movie. Like her hair color was distracting. I don't think they basically put her in the dress that Dua Lipa was wearing in the trailers.
Hmm.
Excuse me. And I don't think her character looked great. I don't think she pulled off looking like this advanced super spy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see her really as an action star. But I mean, that's just like
Fair.
a little nitpick. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like Bryce Dallas Howard too. I think she's a great actress and she's very talented even as a director.
Yeah.
But
So,
I don't know. Maybe you would have a different opinion if you watched what like eventually you'll probably watch it eventually,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
eventually I'll get to it.
But yeah, I just don't think she pulled off the Rachel Kyle aspects of it. Yeah, but I'd still say she was my favorite character in the movie. I like the dynamic of her playing like Ellie Conway and then eventually transitioning into the Rachel Kyle again when she starts getting her memories back.
yeah.
But the way that they play it is like Argylle and Henry Cavill, Dua Lipa, John Cena, they're all like made up. Those are the characters in the book. But there are some scenes where um Sam Rockwell's character is like fighting people and she'll blink and it'll turn to Henry Cavill and he'll be like beating people up, looking at her and like winking and stuff. That stuff was funny. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that. I thought the music was pretty good. There was some licensed music during the fight scenes, but I think it like the way
For the
that they
most part,
used
it
it,
worked.
yeah, it worked pretty well. Yeah, there's a cat in there that you would probably like.
Yeah, I see the cat all over the marketing. I honestly thought the cat was gonna be Agent Argylle.
I mean, maybe that would have been ridiculous, but the movie was kind of ridiculous as it is.
I was gonna say, I feel like it would have probably made sense, honestly, with the way the movie sounds like it was going.
Yeah. But honestly, the cat was kind of just in there to be like, "Aw, it's so cute," kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
It didn't really serve that much purpose to the story. Besides, like, Ellie Conway loves cats. She like loves her cat. It's her best friend. And then like Rachel Kyle hates cats. So it was supposed to be that sort of
yeah.
dynamic. When she finds out she's Rachel Kyle,
She
Sam
hates the
Rockwell's
cats.
character is like, you don't even like cats. Like I miss the old you and whatnot. So the cat has some good scenes in it though, in the movie. Towards the end, the cat like saves them. I figured there was going to be something like that at some point.
What happens?
So basically, her and Sam Rockwell's character finally made it to the room where like the source code is or whatever. And then Bryan Cranston comes in with a shotgun and he like has them cornered. Then all of a sudden the cat like jumps out of her bag and scratches his face and like just violates him. And then
It's like a
yeah.
cartoonishly fucking.
Yeah. At that point in the movie, I kind of like already realized how like not serious they were going with it. So, but
Which is
I
fair.
think
There's no wrong with that.
yeah, I don't think this movie is doing that well though. To be honest,
No.
I don't know about critically. I mean, I don't know about financially, but critically, it's getting pandered.
It's too horrible financially. I'm pretty sure. Excuse me.
I just saw on Twitter actually. I think they just tweeted it has the cinema score C plus.
Yeah, it's like C plus, which is pretty bad,
really
and they're pretty
bad.
generous cinema score. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. And cinema score for the most part like shows whether or not the film will have legs at the box office. If it's anything below like a B, usually it doesn't end up doing well at the box office. There are probably a few exceptions to that, but I feel like this does have a shot because what else is really out right now?
Yeah, but bro, the budget is $200 million.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be able to recoup that.
What is it projected to come? Like,
I have no idea.
I saw it's supposed to be like the 25 million. Like, that's horrible, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just like they got this big cast of well-known actors and actresses, but I feel like that's not enough anymore. to make a movie do
No.
well, especially in the age of like streaming and you can watch whatever you want at home.
Not a
All you
lot
have
of
to do is
actors have that
you gotta
pull anymore.
yeah. Tom Cruise is one, but
Tom Cruise.
Even Mission Impossible didn't end up doing that well.
But honestly, I think that was more of a product of it coming out right when Barbie and Oppenheimer did, more
Yeah.
than anything. I think if like they released that where it had a full, it wasn't competing with two other really really good movies, it would have made a lot more money.
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, it's just like you have, and this has happened once before. Remember Amsterdam? That insane cast, and it completely
Yeah.
flopped. People are just not moved by the actors and actresses anymore.
Yeah.
It has to be an event type movie for people to go to the
Yeah.
theater. That's the ones that make the most money. Avatar 2, Spider-Man, things like that. Barbie and Oppenheimer, obviously, those were like, the
But
whole
they're kind of they
Barbenheimer.
felt like event movies, honestly. Like the
I,
way
f-
they are
I feel
filmed.
that, honestly, I feel that if Barbenheimer wasn't a thing, Oppenheimer would like maybe have made like half as much money if it just released.
No, I think it still would have made.
I don't know.
I think it would
Made a
have
bit.
probably. I don't know, maybe like 600, 700 million.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very crazy that you can get these huge casts, big name director, big name actors, actresses, and it's just not enough.
No.
But also, it would help if the movie was received better,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The
Um,
movie doesn't really help itself either.
yeah. I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say. I like Sam Jackson's character a lot. Thought he was funny. He was having a fun time. But oh yeah, so there's also a post-credit scene, which I was so confused by what it meant. But it says like, 20 years earlier. And then it shows this pub and the outside says the Kingsman. So, and then it goes in, there's like this guy talking to the bartender and they're like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Oh, my name is Augustus Argylle."
And
And
then
he's
that's it.
and then that's it. Like
Maybe that's her dad. Maybe her dad's a Kingsman.
I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming that it means that the Kingsman and this movie's universes are connected.
Which I
But
think is just kind of stupid.
I I was so confused by
Let me
that.
look it up.
Yeah. Let me look up the post-credit scene meaning because I'm I just don't really understand.
You see.
And then all right, after that it shows like a poster on the wall. And the poster says Argyle Book 1 the movie coming soon. So I don't know if that meant
And maybe make a movie about the book that she
yeah.
wrote.
Yeah. Or I don't know if that meant like in universe her book was going to get made into a movie and it was just like a little I don't know.
I mean,
Let's see.
I don't think it will anymore because it's
Argyle's.
horrible.
Let me see this. Argyle's post-credit scene. Let's see. Post-credit scene takes place 20 years earlier when Argyle visits the Kingsman pub and asks for a specialty cocktail that catches the owner's interest. Let's see. Post-credit scene. Hold on a second. Vaughn's post-credit scene implies that the Kingsman universe exists within Argyle. The scene also ends with a look at the Argyle book cover poster reading Book 1 the movie, with the scene taking place in the past and Ellie having finished the series on Book 5. It means the first book is a backstory to Argyle himself. With Vaughn wanting a series of movies, he's done the job of adding intrigue. So I guess I don't know. I really don't
It doesn't really
understand.
matter because it's not making money. So
Yeah, I think they're gonna just abandon this.
yeah,
But
we'll see.
yeah. All right. I guess for me to rate it, I ended up giving it a 3-star. 6
All
out of
right.
10. I had fun with it. I'm pretty sure I gave Kingsman the same rating. I'm not a big fan of these spy action comedies, but this one had its own twist to it. It was unique. It had charm. It was funny. It was fun. Yes, the plot doesn't really make sense, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a good time watching it. So Is it? Do you have something playing in the background?
No.
Getting some
That's the
feedback.
there's something going off, like the fridge or maybe the ice machine and the freezer.
Oh, classic. All right, hold on. Let me pull up the doc. Let's see what we got next. I think we could get into some movie news, right?
Movie news, yeah.
There ain't much, but we could start with the big one, which is we got the casting for Supergirl. So you could go into this one
And
because you're more familiar with the actress.
I actually got my pick right. Millie Alcock from House of the Dragon got cast as Supergirl, which I've been very excited about. I mean, she's been in that and there's like one other show, so she's relatively new, but she's fantastic in the House of the Dragon. I mean, you haven't watched it yet, Matt, but you'll see.
Mhm.
You're getting there. You're almost done with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'm up to the final season. I just watched. This is random, but I'll talk about it for a sec.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Game of Thrones. I just finished season 7, which is the second to last one, and how it ends. Like, did you watch it or no?
No.
Do you want to? Do you care about the
You could
spoilers?
just no, because I've seen everything online.
So it's revealed that Jon Snow is actually like a Targaryen somehow.
Yeah.
But the way that they do it is so rushed. All of a sudden, they're just like his brother, who was the three-eyed raven, randomly is just like, "Yo, like we gotta tell Jon Snow he's actually Aegon Targaryen," and like it shows this backstory, but there's no build up to it at all. It's just randomly revealed, and then it just cuts, and it cuts to another scene, and he's like, "Fucking Daenerys," like it. So it was just like for shock value. It's showing that it's revealed randomly that they're related, and then it just like shows them hooking up. It was so weird. I hate how they handled that.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they ever address like in House of the Dragon, because that's about the Targaryens, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do they address like Jon Snow being a Targaryen, or how far?
No, it's like way further in the timeline, like back.
Mhm.
It's like hundreds of years.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, so I'm up to the final season. There's only like 6 episodes in it, I think. So then after
Yeah.
that, I'll be able to
Started.
see Millie in House of the Dragon.
She's only
How do
in
you,
because she. What?
how do you feel about this pick though for Supergirl?
Oh, I'm hyped. I love her. She's a great actress. I've been campaigning for her ever since they restarted the TCU.
Mhm. I don't really see her as a Supergirl though. I feel like she would have been a better Gwen Stacy, Spider Gwen.
I don't know. She has more. You'll see. Like she has more of that anger and like rage. Not. I don't want to say rage, but like there's definitely an anger to the character that I think that they want for Supergirl that she's gonna bring.
Mhm.
But she does
Yeah,
have a look for Spider Gwen. Right.
yeah. I'm not familiar with her, but I know a lot. I've seen a lot of people always like campaigning for her. So
I started
I
it.
mean, I know people say like, "Oh, Twitter casted this movie" whenever they're talking about like Superman Legacy, and I feel like James Gunn is going with safe choices. Like
Yeah.
David Cornsweet as Superman was like basically everyone was campaigning for him to be Superman. There was only a couple
Yeah.
other names that were getting floated out. And this is another one where like a ton of people were campaigning for her and she ended up getting it. So it's
Well,
good.
also too, you gotta remember, like she also works with Warner Brothers with House of the Dragon, so it like wasn't far fetched for them.
Yeah, that's a good
Like
point.
that's why I felt like they had such a good chance to happen.
Yeah, that's a good point. Um, but yeah, all right. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some people could also argue that the castings so far have been pretty uninspired. Like, there's nothing, like they're just so basic and like, okay, you know,
What do
it's
you mean?
expected. Like there's nothing that's thinking outside the box.
I mean, they only really cast how many characters in this universe? It's really just the biggest characters they've done is Superman and Superwoman, and that's it.
Or Supergirl, but
Supergirl, sorry.
that's all
Um,
right. Yeah,
uh,
I'm just being a hater here a little bit, but
nah,
I feel
I
like the
know.
picks are pretty basic. Although I do like Hornswoggle as Superman, and I'm sure that once I watch House of the Dragon, I'll come around. But I was annoyed with like Amelia Jones not getting it. I think, but she also apparently it said she didn't want to read for the part.
Why?
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that actually.
It
Really?
said
Why would you
like
want to read?
she just wanted it like an offer without like reading for it,
That's kind of
which
stupid. That's
I
kind
don't
of like
know
a
how
red
true it
flag.
is, but I saw
Yeah, I
that.
don't. Yeah, that's kind of weird. How the fuck would you even audition without reading? She's not like that high of an actress where she could just, you know, even like
Yeah,
high
it
level
is.
actresses, they still have to read.
Yeah, I don't. People were like, it could be a thing where it's like a game of telephone. Apparently, some people thought that it meant like she wasn't willing to like read comics to prepare or something, but I really don't know. I'm just
It's
like
kind
disappointed. I
of
think she would have been a better pick, but again, we'll see.
yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at the
All right.
castings now. I pulled up a page of all like the DCU castings.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean they're okay. Honestly, like they're not. You're right. They're not really like. I don't think any of them are bad. The
Like
worst one
this
is
is
probably
like think
Sean
about it
Gunn.
like this. Like Robert Pattinson as Batman. That's like a casting where you're like, okay, this is different. This is like,
Yeah.
this is interesting. Like it's
But we
not a
also
safe
haven't got
choice.
really. We only got well Superman. I didn't think they were gonna go out of the box because that's like their bread and
Yeah.
butter.
Yeah, no, I'm
But
just
let's
saying
see.
like
We'll
sometimes those
see.
castings where it's like you take a risk end up working out like,
I feel like
I
Millie Alcock was more
maybe
of a risk. She's pretty like
yeah.
relatively unknown. She's only been in. She's in. I mean, she's not even. So she plays in the House of the Dragon. Uh, she plays a character, and then there's a time skip. Like it's like 4 or 5 episodes, and then she's not in the season again after that.
So
So she's
she's
only
not
in
going to
like
return, right, for season 2?
no, that's it. Yeah, that's it. She only because she plays the younger version. So like they have a time skip like in the middle point of in
Mhm.
the first season, and they're like she's an adult. So
Yeah.
she there's no it was no. That's also too. That's why I figured because there's no like she's not tied down to anything too.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I was also surprised because apparently the other girl, Meg Donnelly, she's voiced
She's
Supergirl.
voiced in the Tomorrowverse. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah, I actually watched Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1.
How was it?
I liked it. It was pretty good. The ending was kind of stupid.
Yeah. Well, it's three
Um,
parts, right? There's like
yeah, it's supposed to be 3 parts.
yeah,
But it's like the story centers around the Flash, and it's like him going back and forth between time and like the way it ends is like all different. It's kind of like in What If, how the Watcher is like, oh, I'm choosing you from this universe to join like the Guardians of the
yeah.
Multiverse. Kind of like that, except there's this other character. I forget his name. It's the dude who's like in green with the hood.
Oh, the Spectre.
Yeah, yeah, I think him. He's like goes to all these other universes and he's like, "Oh, I choose you to join the fight or whatever."
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
So, and then it ends like that. I won't spoil how like there's a cliffhanger
Yeah,
at the end,
because
but
I'll
I won't
probably end up
spoil it.
watching it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
but
seen a couple.
yeah,
I used to watch like the other DC animated universe, like the one before the Tomorrowverse.
yeah, I'm slowly working my way through.
I haven't watched the new. I watched like that new Superman with like Lobo and that weird the weird like parasite they did. I didn't like the design at all. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't think so.
It's
But
like Superman and Lobo.
I don't know.
Uh,
But yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen that one or heard of it.
yeah.
But
But
yeah, I remember like I watched it and it was after people were saying, "Oh, like this girl voiced Supergirl." So I was like listening to her performance and I thought the
they're pretty
voice was
solid.
good. She was pretty like I could and looking at her, I could see how she would have been a pretty good pick. I was surprised he didn't pick her, but I think he
Yeah,
listens
I'd
to the
say it was
fans,
fair.
which is good because it seems like a lot of people wanted Millie. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like he's pretty good with casting James Gunn. Like
Hmm.
the Guardians are cast pretty well. I feel like.
Well, yeah, like Chris Pratt was kind of an out there choice because
Yeah,
his only work really before that was Parks and Rec, where he kind of played
yeah,
like a dumb
yeah.
sloth,
Because
you
after
know,
this, he got
Jurassic World,
Jurassic World. Yeah,
which yeah, that's
was
actually a great
a good
transition.
transition. Yeah,
So
Um,
Universal actually revealed that they're gonna be stepping back into the Jurassic World franchise.
with isn't I believe the original writers of the first movie are coming back, right?
hmm The dude who wrote like the first Jurassic Park, I'm pretty sure, is gonna write this next movie.
Yeah.
So they said that it's gonna be its own thing. It'll not revisit those characters again, like the Chris
Which is
Pratt and the
fine.
Bryce Dallas Howard. Yeah, I think it's good. Do you think it's gonna be like a Jurassic World and then another title, or do you think it'll be like Jurassic Universe or like something like that?
Nah, Jurassic Universe.
That's just like that was just one that I thought of. But like, do you think it'll be Jurassic something? Like, cause they had Jurassic Park,
I
Jurassic
feel like they
World,
might
and
just
then
bring it back to Jurassic Park and then like some type of subtitle with it. Like
yeah,
Jurassic Park, like fucking, I don't know, fossil or some. But
yeah,
I mean, them having the original writers is definitely a good sign.
yeah,
Because
for
I
sure.
mean, not that we're really there for the writing, but
I mean, this
I
this was
just
pretty
want the
much expected.
yeah. I mean,
Jurassic World Dominion made 1 billion, and it
yeah, and
didn't even have good
that was like
reviews.
that was the worst thing. I think that's the worst one they've made out of all of them.
I don't think so. I like
Really?
that one. I liked it. Yeah,
This one? Really? You
yeah.
liked it? I think you gave it
I
like two
gave it
stars.
I gave it a 3 star. I liked it. I think
Bro, the
Jurassic
main
Park 2 and 3 are worse than it.
no, no, what, bro?
Yeah.
The main fucking villain in this is literally like crickets.
Um,
Is that it's like bugs, bro? It's like so stupid.
no, I know
I don't
that
know.
that part is stupid. I agree, but I think the dinosaur stuff and like seeing Sam Neill and Laura Dern back,
Yeah, nah,
that
I
it hit
guess
my
they're
nostalgia,
pulling.
bro.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
So I don't know.
That
I
didn't.
enjoyed it,
I was
and I
like,
feel like
fucking
the
what?
dads of the world definitely liked it. Like if you asked Dad,
You liked it?
he would definitely
I
say he
liked
liked it.
the what was it set? Jurassic what? Jurassic World 2, Dominion.
No, no, that's
That
the third one.
what's the? I liked the second one too. It was
Isn't it
kind of
like
like a
Fallen Kingdom or something?
yeah. There's like a little like not horror, but there's like a
Yeah, there is
kind of
horror
like thriller
elements.
vibe. Yeah, and the dinosaur's cool, just like really
Yeah.
cool looking.
The first one was good too. I enjoyed the first one.
Yeah,
That
the
was
first
kind
one I
of
think is the best.
yeah, that's the best of well, yeah,
Yeah,
I would say that's the best of the three. But yeah, I like this world. I mean, no one does dinosaur movies really, even though it's such an
yeah,
untapped.
marketable. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
like
besides
they're
like
gonna.
they made 65, which was terrible. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Yeah, no, I did see that actually. It was
Um,
fucking. I thought it was. I don't know why. I thought it was so stupid that they revealed the biggest plot twist of the movie. Because like when you seeing the trailer, like you just think he's stranded on a random like planet. You know.
or no, you think it takes place
Oh, you
in
think yeah, in
oh
the
no no
past.
no, you don't. You think it's in the future because of all the guns, and then like dinosaurs show up. So it's like, how is
Yeah,
this possible? You're supposed to be like, all right, how is this possible going into the movie? But then it's like revealed how it's possible.
it's
What
just
like
like
in the trailer, you know?
so
But
stupid,
yeah, I'm
dude.
excited. I'm a big fan of Jurassic Park, so I
Yeah,
love
dinosaurs are
dinosaurs.
cool. I fuck with dinosaurs,
Yeah,
so should be
yeah.
good.
yeah. What else we got? So there was some news yesterday that released about Sonic 3. I don't know if you're a big fan of the first two or not.
Yeah, I like them.
I think the second
Pretty
one's really
solid.
good.
Yeah, solid.
Um,
They're fun. I think Jim Carrey's really good in them.
Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of that, it was confirmed that Jim Carrey's coming back, which I'm happy about because
Yeah,
first of all,
I feel like he's
he's one of my favorite actors of all time. Not
yeah.
that his role as Robotnik is one that I'm gonna remember
Mm,
fondly like in the future, but anytime like he's working, I like to see it. And
yeah.
I think he's honestly one of the best parts of these movies.
No, yeah, 100%. And I think
So
they literally just let like he has like he'll just show up to set like he doesn't even have lines. He just shows up and like act. Like you know what I mean? I
yeah.
feel like he's able to just do whatever he wants.
Yeah. I think he must like that Sonic world at least a little bit
Yeah,
because I don't know if you
as
saw that
much as
picture of he had like a birthday party or something. The dude who voiced Sonic was there, so they must be friends in real life. So he must at
oh
least
yeah,
like doing it a little if he's friends with the guy who
yeah.
voices Sonic. It's
I'm
not
sure they
like
pay him a fucking shit ton.
yeah. There's supposed to be that Knuckles spin-off show, right?
They
I don't know
filmed,
what
yeah.
happened
I
with
think
that.
it's filmed already.
I wonder
I
if
think
that'll
it's done
probably lead
filming.
into the. That must release
Honestly,
before
yeah.
the movie, right?
Let
Because
me
the movie
see.
releases the end of this year. That show must come
Yeah,
out at some point.
I know what's his name. Kid Cudi's in it.
Really.
Yeah,
So yeah, but while you look for that, there was some other news about the movie, which was that Kristen Ritter got cast. I was seeing online there are some rumors that she's gonna do voiceover for like another one of the Sonic
yeah. It was some
family.
like bat person.
I'm not familiar with Sonic lore, but
Yeah,
it's some like emo bat flying Sonic, which I think is a pretty good casting choice to have her, because she plays that like emo girl in Breaking Bad, which I've never seen, but um, yeah, I really
and
like
then
Kristen Ritter.
they cast someone else as like a random character that I never heard of too.
Yeah. Apparently, Shadow the Hedgehog is rumored to be voiced by Hayden Christensen.
I did see that. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, apparently he said he wants to work again, and I
Work
feel
again.
like
Yeah, he
that
signed
would
with a
be
talent agency. I think that's like a really good casting.
yeah, and that would get nerds excited because
Yeah,
the movie's probably for nerds, and
yeah,
people love
yeah.
Hayden because Star Wars.
If you could
Um,
cast him in any like DC Marvel, what do you think they would like? What would you put him in?
mm,
Honestly, if he
trying to
was younger, he would be a really good Human Torch.
Yeah, I could see it. I'm trying to think of him now. Um, what's it called?
I don't know.
Because like he is a bit older now, and also
Yeah,
like if we're talking about Marvel, basically every role is cast. He might have to play
yes,
like one
yeah.
of the X-Men.
You think he
Maybe
plays Cyclops? No, he's too
maybe
old,
a
I think.
younger version of him. Maybe I don't know, something
A
with
young, he would
DC.
play a younger version of him.
I would like to see him as a villain, maybe because of his. I thought his villainous side as Anakin was good.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I'm on the spot here. Victor's ass.
yeah. Honestly,
Shave his head. I don't know.
that's
But
not the worst.
yeah, I think isn't this movie going head to head with Avatar 3 or is Avatar
Not
3
anymore. I think.
2025?
I think no. I think they moved Sonic. It's gonna change. Like it's like moved 2 weeks. So
So is Avatar
honestly,
3 coming out this year or no?
no, I don't think so. Honestly, he would be a good Scarecrow.
Yeah, I could see it.
Look at look at him with a short haircut. Look how Hayden Christensen.
Let me look him
Like,
up.
think of forget his flow.
He's old though now.
Nah, I
He
know
is
he's old.
fucking
I mean,
old.
like, but he doesn't have to be that. I mean, he's supposed. What is Scarecrow's? What, a psychiatrist or
Yeah,
something?
he could be old. Yeah, he could be old. I could see
He's
him as
not
a
old. He's like what, 40s, 50s? He's like,
Nah, he's got to be old. Let's see.
no way. How old is he?
Oh, he's 42.
Yeah, bro. What do you? How
He
old do you
looks
think he
older,
was?
bro. Look at that picture of him from Star Wars Celebration.
Let me see.
He's got fucking wrinkles on his. I mean, I guess not to wrinkle shame anyone, but he looks older
Let me
than
see.
he is. I don't want to get canceled for wrinkle shaming, but
Yeah, honestly, in that picture, he does look metal for some reason. But there's other pictures of him that he looks
yeah,
like
yeah,
normal.
hmm
I think it was just like the angling in that picture.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I hope that he actually is playing Shadow and that he makes a
Yeah,
comeback.
that would be pretty cool. That'd be
I
awesome.
saw
That'd be a good
I saw
story.
he's gonna be in Ahsoka season 2,
I did see that too.
so that's good. Hopefully that I don't like. I feel like there's no need to de-age him. Just like make him.
No, like he's young enough where like they could just do makeup and it's fine.
Yeah,
They don't need to de-age.
they got to bring back Padme somehow.
Yeah. OD. The flashback of Padme.
But
Yeah.
all right, yeah, we can
What
move
other
on from
news?
Sonic. What else we got? Despicable Me 4 trailer. I know you were able
Yeah, I
to.
was able to see it early. Actually, I was lucky.
We can finally reveal that Joe has had early access.
This, yeah. I was able to see it a couple weeks ago, and there's still stuff that I saw that isn't in the trailer yet, which is kind of cool.
Anything big or no? Just like some
Nah,
scenes.
like little like nothing like really important to the plot, just like side stuff.
Yeah. I watched
But
the trailer and it's just like it's more of the
it's pretty
same as
good.
Despicable
Yeah,
Me. Like, if you like Despicable Me, if you like Minions, you're gonna like it. If you're not a fan of Gru, not a fan of the Minions humor, then like you're not gonna like it, and that's
yeah.
basically it.
Will Ferrell's playing the villain, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, it'll just be a dumb, fun watch.
Yeah,
I,
I think it's funny they gave him a son. I didn't even expect that at all, honestly.
yeah, a lot of these animated movies fall into the same like generic plot trope
Yeah,
traps. Like Despicable Me 3, they were like, oh, Gru has a twin brother that we never knew about. There's always like a secret family member in these like animated
yeah.
movies.
This
Like,
is
bro,
like,
even Kung Fu Panda, like the third one is oh, Po has a dad that's actually alive, and then they thought he was dead this whole time, but he's not.
well, I guess
Shrek does
that
it.
one. I mean, the second. To be fair to the Kung Fu Panda, because we don't take Kung Fu Panda slander. It's revealed at the end of the second that his dad's alive, but it's not. So it's not like out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Because the second one's about like how his people got they got fucking murked by
but then it's
what's
like,
his name?
what's the next plot they could do? Oh, that the main character has a kid. And then it's like that
Yeah,
happened in Shrek. Now it's happening
yeah,
in Despicable Me. I feel like it is kind of basic of a plot point, but
yeah,
Gru's. I saw someone on Twitter was saying like they missed out on the perfect character design of young Gru, and it would have just been
yeah.
like
I
a
know.
baby with Gru, like actual just Gru's face. Imagine that
I
would have been
saw
mad
that
funny.
too.
I kind
Yeah,
of like how the baby looks though. How
yeah.
it
I
has
think
like
it's
the
cool. It
one
kind of looks
strand
like
of
Jack a little bit.
yeah, the one strand of orange hair from the mother. I thought was cool
Yeah,
too. That's like a nice little touch.
little touch. Yeah,
But it's probably gonna make so much money for
yeah. I'm
sure.
sure the animation actually looks. I feel like significantly better than the I remember the other ones.
Yeah, the animation did look pretty good. I didn't actually
When's
post
it
that
supposed to come
trailer.
out?
I think July. It's gonna be a
Joey
hit.
King is in it too.
I wonder who she plays. Maybe one of like the sidekicks of the villain
Yeah,
or something.
and then Sophia Ver- Vergara. Vergara. I think she's in the Girl in Modern Family.
Let me see when it comes out. Hold on a second. There's some decent anime. There's actually 2 animated movies that came out like yesterday.
Yeah, the Orem in the Dark, whatever it is.
Orion and the Dark.
Yeah.
I like tried to watch it yesterday. I put it on, and then when it started, it said it's rated TVY7, so youth 7-year-olds. So it's like
I'm pretty sure.
really for kids.
I'm pretty sure it's based off like a preschool book. I'm like
Yeah, I tried.
95% sure.
I like watched the first 30 seconds, and then I was like, damn, like this is really kiddish. So
What
I'll
was the
probably
other
go back
anime
to it.
movie?
This movie called The Tiger's Apprentice.
Oh, on Paramount.
Yeah, that. I mean,
What's it about?
it looks kind of bad to be honest.
Let me look it up.
I have no idea what it's about. Yeah, wait, let me see this release date.
Hey, Henry Golding's in it.
Despicable Me 4, July 3rd. So that July 4th weekend, it's gonna be in theaters.
Oh, bro, it's gonna be like $1 million.
Yeah, bro, it might make a bill.
Yeah.
It has a shot.
It says
This.
The Tiger's Apprentice. A Chinese American boy, after the death of his grandmother, has to be appointed to the talking tiger. I don't know, it looks. I have no idea. And become the new guardian of the ancient phoenix. Looks pretty
Yeah,
stupid.
looks stupid. Yeah, but yeah, Despicable Me 4. Did you see like the poster for it, where it's like one of
Yeah.
the hardest images of all time?
Yeah, it actually went crazy for some reason, dude.
It's like Gru and the minion with that like devious stare.
Yeah.
That poster goes so hard. I might need to hang that in my room.
Yeah, they just randomly dropped that. I like how they just out of nowhere just fucking dropped that.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure we thought that the trailer was gonna. Oh wait,
I
I
thought
just
it was gonna
gotta.
be Super Bowl.
Did you see that alert from Twitter? Argylle
Yeah,
earns 6.5 million in the opening day. That's honestly
that's
not
not.
that bad for one day.
I don't know, dude. I think it's pretty bad. $200 million opening budget. It's probably gonna
Uh,
make what 25, 30 million this weekend.
I don't know. Hopefully like 50, but I doubt it. But
Yeah,
yeah, speaking of posters, we also got a poster for Beetlejuice 2, which revealed the title.
yeah. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. This is
Yeah.
the title, right?
Yeah. I
What
think
are we?
that's clever. That's a
Yeah,
pretty
I
good
like
title.
that. I'm assuming the trailer's gonna come out like Super Bowl,
Yeah,
most likely.
I think so. That's one that I'm looking forward to. I like Jenna
Yeah,
Ortega. Um, I
like
like
I love.
Winona Ryder.
Have you seen the original Beetlejuice?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple
Yeah,
times. Michael
yeah,
Keaton's
it's
great.
fun. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see. I feel like I haven't seen Michael Keaton in a role like that in mad long. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
like not. I mean, Beetlejuice is a really unique role, but I mean, like a comedy kind of
yeah.
something
hmm
like that, like with super out there.
hmm For sure. Yeah, I
Willem
guess
Dafoe's in it.
when the trailer comes out, we'll talk about it some
Yeah,
more. But yeah, and then the last thing we could talk about, if you want to take this, because I don't really know too much, but there's apparently some drama going on with the live action Avatar series on Netflix.
yeah.
Some worries.
So, so I don't know. So before we get to this point of them releasing this, in the process of them making the show, it was revealed that the creators of the original show left. So that's always like a red flag. Like
hmm
from because if you're disagreeing with the people that created the actual content, like usually you're not you're in the wrong. So so far everything looks nice. You know, the trailers look promising, the cast looks great, but so they revealed that um they they removed some of one of the characters' arcs where he kind of starts out like he's kind of sexist towards the girls, but the whole point of the arc is that through the story he learns like that he's wrong and like learns from his mistake and gets better and becomes a better person. So it's kind of like you're missing the whole point of him. Like
hmm
it's to show the audience that he's growing as a person. Like it's not because he's just like it's shown like that so he learns. It's not. It's supposed to be about I don't know. I feel
They're
like
like
they
they're scared to show
yeah I think they're
any
scared.
of the
But
main
bro,
good
it's not
characters
even like
doing
that
bad things.
great. Like I don't know. Like
They're
it's
going
just to
woke.
show that it's wrong. Like, wouldn't you want the audience to learn? Like, oh, this is you know what I mean?
It's woke Avatar.
Yeah.
No, but
Well,
yeah, it's stupid. It's just like they're
bro.
they're so they're like scared to show a good character doing bad things, even
Yeah.
if the end result will be him learning that it's wrong.
Learnings. And then like Katara kind of takes on like the motherly role of them because like their mom dies pretty early on.
hmm
And I don't know, they said they didn't like really like that either, but like I don't know. It's kind of like she's supposed to I don't know, she holds the group together. She's the oldest of the group and she basically raises her brother. There's even a point in the animated show where Sokka says that he can't remember his mom's face because for so long he felt like his mom was his sister because she's the one that's been raising him.
So what do you mean? Like they're gonna remove that aspect of it?
Yeah, like
I
they're
don't
just all gonna
understand.
be like she in the show is like kind of like the mother of like she's plays more of like a maternal role in the group. I feel like they said they're gonna make them more like individual, but
hmm
it kind of like it's it takes away from her character too. It's like
Yeah. So are
I
you
don't know.
kind of losing faith in the show a little
Yeah, I
bit?
mean I don't know. I'm still gonna watch it. Like all the other stuff, like it looks like it. The world looks like it belongs. Like the costumes look great. The cast looks pretty great. But I don't know, stuff like that gets me concerned. Like all
Yeah.
the stuff with the One Piece live action before it came out, like everything you heard about that show, like the fans were pretty happy about. Like you could tell that the people that made this show really cared about the source material and more importantly understood it. Because it's one thing to make these things and for you to enjoy it, but for you to make it and not and understand it is completely different.
Yeah.
And that's why I
That's
feel like a
that's a
lot of the
really
live action adaptations are very bad because people are just fans, but they don't actually understand the material.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah, and I mean we'll see because different doesn't necessarily mean bad. But
No, it could still be great. I'm just, for me, it's just like bothers me because I know what the character is supposed to be like, and that show is one of the best. I've always said it. The Avatar is one of the best forms of media I've ever seen in my life. It is such a good show, and it's crazy because it has like these really mature themes for a kid show too.
yeah, I've always heard great things about it. But when is the series supposed to come out?
End of the month, February like 20 something.
All right. I
I'm
mean, I'm
definitely
sure
gonna
you'll
watch
still.
it.
Yeah, we could. I guess we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I still want you to watch the One Piece one.
I've just got so much like other
I
shit on my
know,
plate, bro. It's like
especially because like it actually got good reviews. Our mom actually watched it, which is funny, and she liked it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'd like rarely watch TV. I've been watching Game of Thrones for the past like 3 years. I'm finally sort of getting to
yeah,
the end of it. But yeah, I'm gonna watch Game of Thrones, then House of the Dragon. After that, I think I might watch The Bear because I just watched Golden Globes and it won like so many awards.
awards. Yeah,
Um, but if I watch like every other TV show I want to watch, then maybe I'll watch One Piece. But
yeah,
all right, yeah, I don't really have much to add because I don't know too much about. I was seeing these headlines and I didn't really like understand them, because I just
yeah.
don't know what the
But
original series
do
is
you
like.
agree with me? Like it's kind of like it's stupid for them to take it out.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Because like, why are they removing it? They just want to
I
like
don't know,
make the series super clean and like not controversial at all, and
but it's
not
not
have
even
characters being
controversial.
sex. I mean,
Like
it's like
he just, I don't know. He's like the whole
yeah,
point is that he learns from his mistake. It's like, but he's not even like. It's also a kids show, so like, how sexist is he actually in the show? I
yeah.
think he makes like a
It's
stupid
not like
comment.
it's not like he's gonna be groping her or anything. He's
Yeah,
just gonna.
no, it's nothing like when they say sexist, like he'll make like a comment here or there. Like that's it. Like it's a children's cartoon, so it's nothing
Yeah,
like.
yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll
Yeah.
see when we get to it, but that does it for the movie news. Now we can get into the list that you recommended last episode.
Yeah. Which
So
is
yeah, introduce it for us.
our top 10 animated movies, which I actually there was a lot, so I wanted to give like a couple what's the word
Honorable mentions.
honorable mentions. And one of them was actually Despicable Me, which I mean I honestly wasn't a big fan of it growing up, but like I watched it like later on, and our dad likes them, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
And
he likes them. I think he likes
yeah,
them a lot because of he loves Universal, like the
yeah,
theme park, and they have all the theme parks there, and I mean the minion shit at the theme park and everything.
yeah.
So
Also, and another one. This is a very old one, but Pinocchio, which like I haven't seen in a very long time, but I'm pretty sure that's like one. Isn't that the first animated movie in color?
um, I'm not too sure to be honest. I've never
I
heard
could
that
be wrong,
before, but maybe. My list is kind of
but
basic, I feel like, because I haven't really watched too much animation. But
yeah, I'm doing more like American animation because like anime is like a whole different. But did you do this? Or you did more anime and like
I mean, I haven't watched much anime,
uh,
to be honest. But yeah, well, let's just get into it and we'll discuss. You could
yeah.
start. Give your number 10.
So for number 10, I actually had the Simpsons movie, which
I love that. That's a good one.
yeah, I we grew up watching that. I feel like,
Hmm. We saw
and
that
yeah,
in
it's
a
just like
theater.
yeah,
Do you remember?
yeah. I think that was like one of the first like it wasn't rated. Was it rated? No, it wasn't rated R, but like
Adult
uh, it was like
anime.
adult movie kind of,
Yeah, I
and
remember there was this whole thing with they show like Bart's dick or something, and that was like
oh
a
yeah,
big
there's like
deal.
a little scene. Yeah,
I remember
I
seeing that in a theater and remember the part where it's like to be continued immediately. I
oh
like remember the audience groaning when it said to be
yeah.
continued.
Ugh.
That's like a
That movie
memory
was
that I have.
actually a banger, dude.
Yeah, it was. I want to rewatch it.
Did it do well, like financially?
I'm sure it did. I'm sure
Yeah.
it did for the time. Yeah, I like that movie. I think the plot was decent. But
Yeah. What'd you have for 10?
all right, 10. I have a movie you probably never heard of, but it's called A Town Called Panic, and it's a stop motion French animated film. It is
Hmm.
just it's hard to even explain it. It's just complete absurdity. Nothing that happens makes any sense, but it's hysterical. Like I laughed out loud multiple times while I was watching.
What's it called?
Um, called A Town Called Panic.
Would I like it?
Yeah, you would love it. It's just like so absurd. Nothing that happens makes any sense. There's a lot of
Is it?
like
What's it
slapstick
rated?
humor
Oh, it's awesome.
on Letterbox. The rating
It's
on
a
Letterbox.
season. This is like
No,
a.
no, it's a
Let me see.
movie. It has a
Town called Panic.
3.9 on Letterbox.
Oh, okay. No, it says sitcom. Stop motion, French language, Belgium stop motion sitcom.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I watched it. It's a movie. It's on. Go on Letterboxd and look
I
up A
don't know.
Town
Maybe
Called
there's a
Panic.
show too.
Where are you looking for it?
I just looked it up on Google.
Maybe it's a show as well, but I'm talking about the movie.
Yeah, they probably have a show because it's like the same looking characters.
Yeah. But yeah, it's basically just complete nonsense, and like the shit they do makes no sense, and it's funny. It's like very stupid humor.
Yeah.
So
How'd you
yeah, that,
find this movie?
um, there's actually I listened to this other movie podcast, and they recommend a
Mhm.
lot of times like these really out there weird films, and one time they were talking about this one, so I'd add it to my watch list, and then eventually I watched it. So
Interesting.
yeah,
I definitely want to watch that now. But for number 9, this might be a little controversial, but I had Toy Story. I feel like a lot of people hold that movie really highly.
hmm
Um, Still really good, but wasn't really my
yeah.
favorite.
The only bad thing about that movie is if you look back at it now, like the animation is terrible, especially for the human characters.
Honestly, I
Like
have not looked at what it looks like in a phone. Let me look it up. You're
like
probably right. Like I
if you
believe
look
you.
up how the human characters look, they also look like toys. The reason why they did the movie about toys is because when they were trying to like make human characters, they looked like plasticky and looked like toys. So they're like, "Fuck it, let's just like make a movie about toys."
Oh, okay. Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, pretty funny. There's like a lot of cool behind the scenes stuff with Toy Story. I'm sure you've heard about how Toy Story 2 was
It's
accidentally
almost like
deleted.
deleted one of the like someone from work had it.
Yeah.
You know they fired that lady. Like you know that like a couple. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
if it's
saw
a
that.
couple years, not years ago, but like a while ago, they had like a big layoff thing at Pixar, and she was one of the ladies that they fired.
That's fucked up, dude. She
Yeah,
saved them so much money.
it's crazy.
But all right. Number 9 for me. This one's definitely going to be controversial, but it's Barnyard, the Barnyard movie.
No, I forgot about that. That movie's
This is
gas.
it's so nostalgic to me, and people like don't really seem to like it, but I loved it. I think that it works like emotionally. It's very funny. I rewatched it like within a year ago, and the
Yeah,
jokes held up. Like it still is genuinely funny. There's like enough
yeah.
adult jokes in there, like the dude in the house that like has the annoying wife, and he's just sitting in his chair like drowning his sorrows in like soda, but it's supposed to be like him
And
getting
beer, yeah,
drunk, you know.
yeah.
The cow tipping stuff, them like drinking milk and driving, it's supposed to be like them getting drunk. The cows.
What
There's a
did you
lot of it.
rate it?
A 4 star. I really liked
I
it.
Yeah, I feel like if I watched it again now, like I'd find it very funny.
Yeah, it is very funny. And it's another one
Yeah,
that's you kind of laugh at it a bit, but it still is very funny.
yeah.
So yeah, that was in. All right, yeah. So give me, what's your 8?
My 8 was Kung Fu Panda, which we actually rewatched, which I'm actually starting to like kind of appreciate the series a little bit more. I still have to watch the third one, but overall, I like the movies. I like the design of the world, and Jack Black just he does his
Yeah,
Jack Black thing. The villain, I like the like how each of the villains are like incorporated with like it's an animal in that type of area. Like I think the first one was what like a leopard. There's a leopard. The second one is a crane.
Mhm.
And then I don't know what the third one is I've seen. But the new one is like a lid. I don't know. I like how they do that. They play
Yeah,
into
and I think like the Furious Five are supposed to be based off of
the like
different
Chinese.
fighting styles.
Oh,
Like you
really?
could
Oh, I
fight
didn't
like
know that.
tiger style and like crane style. You never heard of that before?
No.
So yeah, that's
Really?
very interesting. Yeah, I feel like that's a cool detail.
Yeah,
Um,
that is really. I always thought it was more just because like those animals are just like associated with like Chinese mythology and stuff.
I mean that's probably part of it as well. But if you look up like tiger style and like crane style, those are forms of I don't know if it's karate, but some type of kung fu or
Yeah.
something. So I actually prefer the second film to the first.
Really?
Yeah, I think the villain's a lot
They're both
better.
they're both very good.
Hmm.
We have to rewatch those three before the four
Yeah,
comes out.
yeah. But all right, my number 8, I had Toy Story 3. It's my favorite of the Toy Story trilogy, and I have very fond memories of
Really?
watching this in a theater. Um, we went with like a big group. It was like us, all our cousins, and like our aunts and uncles. There's probably like 20 people. Us
I
watching
remember
this.
that actually.
Um, and yeah, even like the adults were like crying when there's the scene where they're in the incinerator and like you think all the toys are about to die and they're holding hands. I
Yeah.
think it hits the emotional beats. I think Lotso is a great twist villain where he seems like this great, perfect kind of mentor toy, and then he turns out to be evil.
Yeah.
I like the ending with Andy and him giving up the toys, which, they end up going back on
The
in Toy
retcon,
Story.
yeah.
Yeah. Not that they
I,
retcon it, but like you figured the series is gonna end, but then they made
yeah.
another and Toy Story 5 is also in the works. So. But yeah,
I
I feel
haven't
like that was a perfect conclusion to the trilogy.
I haven't seen four.
I've seen 4. It's still pretty good, but
Yeah.
it's just unnecessary to make.
I feel like if that was unnecessary, then this is gonna be five is gonna be like
Yeah.
if they want to do another one, they should just like have a new group of toys, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
But
that'd make the
they're
most
they're in
sense.
it for the money.
No, I know.
So all right. Yeah, what's your 7?
My seven, I add Lion King. The Lion King, which is
Nice.
it's pretty. I don't feel like I can't. I don't really have to explain the Lion King. It's I feel like one of the most famous animated movies ever to come out.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
spanned multiple. Like think about it, like how many there's Broadway shows and all different things. Now we have the Mufasa movie coming out in December.
Hmm.
You know, which
Yeah.
is that still supposed to come out? Actually,
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is.
who's in it?
Um,
Is it like James Earl Jones or it's
no, he didn't even come back, I don't think, for the live action one.
no? He did.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Let me see if that's true.
Aaron Pierre is
Oh,
in
he
it.
did. He did. He did. But for the guy who voiced Scar didn't come back. Whoever that was.
Yeah, yeah. Which I don't understand.
Um,
Aaron Pierre is. This
oh,
is the guy
Jeremy
who's.
Irons.
Yeah, he played Scar. The guy who's playing Mufasa in this is like he's the dude that was supposed to play the villain in Blade. But then like they're rewriting it, so I don't think he's in it anymore.
Oh, Aaron Pierre. Yeah, I've seen him in a
Yeah,
couple things.
he's
Yeah.
playing Mufasa.
All right. I mean,
I mean, I have no Eric Andre's in it.
yeah. Yeah, but the original Lion King, I didn't include any of like those old Disney animated ones because a lot of them I just
Really?
haven't seen in a long time. So I just like don't really remember.
I
Like
feel like
I would.
I hold those pretty highly because they came out at a time when like animation was like very like not frowned upon, but like it was just
Wasn't
strictly
taken
viewed.
seriously.
Yeah, and a lot of those stories, even though they're kids movies, are like adult themes, and like at the end of the day, like
Hmm.
look about Toy Story 3. I mean, I know that's like an earlier one. I mean, like one that came out later on, but like that's a pretty mature movie looking back.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Like you're convinced the main characters are gonna be burned alive at the end.
Yeah, Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
All
For
right.
me,
What's your six?
no, 7 for
7.
me. 7, I had Shrek, the first movie. I think that's my
Yeah.
favorite of the what is it,
Trilogy.
5? There's like
No,
uh,
4, I think.
4.
Yeah.
There is a 5th one coming eventually.
Yeah.
I
I
just
think
I think
it's
it's
soon as
the movie's stupid, but it's also very clever in like how it makes fun of the fairy tale tropes, where you have like the Shrek is like this ogre, this disgusting ogre is like the Prince
already.
Charming. Um, and yeah, they were kind of like basically parodying like Disney movies for
Yeah.
the time, and they take a lot of jabs at Disney. I really like that. There's obviously
Y-
iconic characters like Donkey, Shrek is like,
Lord
you know,
Farquaad.
Farquaad. I actually just watched The Princess Bride recently, and if
Yeah.
you look at like the dude who's like the villain, he's the king. His
Mm-hmm.
fit is like exactly like Lord
Like
Farquaad.
Farquaad.
So
That's bad funny.
they must have like been
Right.
parodying
Yeah.
that. Um, and I think the series as a whole is pretty great. I do want to rewatch the whole thing
So do
for
I.
sure. So
I saw something online that for Shrek 5, because Mickey's in public domain now, that they should do something with Mickey.
like make fun of him in a
Yeah.
way. That would be cool. Yeah. I just chose the first Shrek, but I don't really remember if I like the first or second better. They're very
Nah,
close for
I,
me.
I like the first. I don't like any of the other ones that much. 2 is when they go to forever. What is it? Neverland?
Or
No. Happily ever
uh
after.
something like that.
Oh, far,
Some,
far away land.
yeah,
Whatever.
far, far away. Yeah,
Yeah. What is 3? 3 is he has the kids.
I think the kids is 4. 3 is when he becomes the king.
No, I thought that was 2.
No.
Hold on. I gotta get caught up in my Shrek lore, dude. It's been a minute.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Bless you.
Yeah, no. 3 is where 2 is where he meets the parents, and then the father dies, so he becomes king in 3.
Oh, I thought the dad died in 2.
And there's I think like Prince Charming is in it, maybe, and
Yeah,
he's like the
Justin
villain.
Timberlake plays like the dude, like the new prince. And remember, he has to like find the new prince.
Yeah, yeah. 3 and 4 suck, but
Yeah, no.
all right. Yeah, that was my 7. So, what's your 6?
Uh, my 6, I actually had. This is kind of out there, but I had Fantasia, which I have not seen in a very long time. I actually plan on rewatching it when I was making this list. It's a movie. I know the not the original like Fantasia from 1940. The one that came out like there was one that came out in, like the 2000s.
Yeah,
It's
Fantasia
just
2000.
yeah, it's not really it's there's not really a plot, right? It's just like
No, I think it's kind of like just flexing the animation, to
yeah,
be
it's just
honest.
like more it's more just like more music and like just showing off the animation. I don't know. I it's very out there, it's very different, but I really appreciate it. And I've hold it very, you know,
Yeah,
closely because I don't know. That's something like I talk about animation coming out like and people not taking it seriously. Like there's no plot to this. It's literally just like clips of animation with music in the background.
yeah.
Not saying that in a bad way, like saying that like it's showing it
No,
off, like it's
yeah, that
embracing
is
it.
cool. I remember watching that as a kid too,
Yeah.
but it's a good one. Number 6 for me was another stop motion. Wes Anderson's Isle of Dogs. I like this a little bit better than Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah.
I think the cast is great. I love how the animation looks, and I really like the story. It's basically like in Japan, like in a future Japan. Um, there's an outbreak of canine flu,
Yeah, it's like get rid
so
of all the dog.
they banish all the dogs like an island, and then this young boy goes to try to find his pet dog that was sent there. Um, so yeah, it's a very like it's got all the Wes
Yeah.
Anderson tropes, and it looks great. Voice acting is great. It's just a great movie. So
Yeah. For number what is this, 5?
yep.
I actually had Shrek, but you pretty much summed
Mhm.
summed up pretty well. But I really like the play on the fairy tale and like them kind of making fun of it.
Mhm. Yeah, one thing that I didn't mention, there's a lot of like edge to Shrek too. It's like a
Yeah,
little bit. It's not as clean cut as most kids animated movies.
yeah.
There's a lot of adult humor, um, which I
I
think
feel like Shrek now is picked on like a cult following.
for sure. All right, so mine going into the top five. My number five was actually a movie that came out last year, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, forgot about the
Um,
Spider-Verse movies.
yeah, this is just like what Spider-Verse was able to do was just like change how animation is
Animation.
viewed to the public in the different styles
Yeah,
that they were able to use. I love how the movie used like different frame rates for different characters based on what universe they were from.
yeah.
Things like that. It's just so unique of a movie, and I'm talking about the sequel here. The only I also have the original Spider-Verse on here. I won't say where, but the reason why
Hmm.
this one's a little lower is because I don't love the ending. It definitely feels like
Yeah,
a part one. Um, and it's not like it doesn't feel like its own self-contained story. But aside from that, I really love all the characters. I love the design of the world, the music,
yeah,
uh, basically everything. I love Miles and Gwen.
yeah. He's so cool.
So
Miles is just like such a cool character. He's so
mhm.
likable.
Yeah, I feel like the Spider Society stuff was a bit much, where it's like clearly just going for Easter eggs. Like
Yeah,
there's so many shots where it's just like, oh, there's the Insomniac Spider-Man. Oh, there's the Prowler.
yeah. The
Oh,
Prowler.
there's Andrew Garfield. There's Tobey Maguire. It's like they don't add anything. It's just being like, oh hey, look at
Yeah.
that, which I still like, but it does feel a little bit egregious to an extent. So yeah, that was my number five.
Yeah. Um, for number four, I think this is gonna be on my note list too. Ratatouille,
Hmm.
which I know you love. Um, it's more of like I feel like a comfort movie to me. I remember watching that a lot as a kid. A lot of these movies are from my childhood. I feel like,
Hmm.
and I don't know. I really like the animation. It's pretty Ratatouille. I mean, what it's about Remy the rat and
It's about
how
there's a
anybody could
rat.
cook.
Yeah, he wants to cook. He
Cook,
wants
yeah,
to do something that his because of like what he was born as, he shouldn't be doing, or like,
yeah,
like it's frowned upon for him to be in a kitchen because he's a rat.
right.
But he just wants to cook. And he's a I just feel like it's so absurdist too. Like he's pulling on the hair of a guy and
Yeah,
like
no,
making him cook. It's so stupid, but it
just
works.
works. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll talk
yeah,
about that more once I get up to it
yeah.
because it's
No,
also
I
on my
know that's gonna
list.
be on your list. Yeah.
Yeah. Number four, I also had another Pixar, the movie Soul. It's probably my second favorite Pixar movie, and it released pretty recently, in
Yeah,
2020.
I really it's sad that that didn't get a theatrical release. I feel like that's like the Pixar movie that like everybody forgets about, and it
Yeah.
was really good. Like this is probably the last like very good Pixar movie that they've made.
Hmm. I think so.
I mean, Elementals was I enjoyed, but that's like, I don't know. Have you
Yeah,
seen
and then
Elementals yet or not?
yeah, I did. It was okay. It was pretty bland to me. It was just mid. It's like
Yeah,
it was fine. Buzz Lightyear was pretty bad,
yeah.
but
Like I think that was like
yeah. But
Elementals is way better than Buzz
yeah, I
Lightyear.
really liked the story in Soul. It was very
Yeah, it's just
heartfelt,
such a
and
good yeah,
it
and
is a
mature.
lot. It's very mature for kids. It doesn't
Yeah,
usually like, and don't get me wrong, this does still have this, but usually Pixar films have like this crazy world and these kooky like character designs,
yeah,
and
and
this one
it
is
does,
it does in like the
but it's not. That's
afterlife.
not the focus of it. Like it's
But
more.
yeah, it's on a jazz. It focuses on a jazz musician,
Yeah,
and um, I like both those parts of his real life as well as
him
the
in the afterlife.
the afterlife,
Yeah,
and the whole idea of like you know
what you're born to
grappling,
do,
yeah, and like figuring out, um,
what your place is in the
yeah,
world, and stuff like
yeah,
that.
like yeah,
A lot of themes like that of like like what we're meant to do in life and what we're
yeah,
born
and
to
like
do
what
and
happens after death, and like
Yeah.
coming to terms with your own death. Like it's a lot for kids, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I know. I was so surprised when I saw it. I was like, "Damn!" But it's fun. It's yeah. I honestly really think it's one of Pixar's best films.
Yeah, and I love the music. The music was great,
Music made. The cast is
and
good.
animation's really solid.
Yeah,
So
pretty sure it's a
yeah,
cat in it, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
You want to give your top three? Let's see.
Yeah. So my number three is The Incredibles, which I think is one of the best superhero movies, regardless. I think it's like such a good like movie about like family and the animation was really good. I wish Brad Bird would have done Fantastic Four. I think that would have been a really good pick.
Mhm.
But uh, I don't know. The character's really cool and it's like a really likable story. I don't know. I feel like the whole family dynamic is what really gets people to enjoy the movie.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
even the
hmm
second one I like too.
Yeah, I'm not huge on The Incredibles, to be honest with you, but
Yeah,
yeah. All right. So my number three was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So I talked about it a little bit when I was talking about the sequel, but this to me is more solid of a film, and it was the first of its kind in this style of animation. I think the story being more self-contained helps it. I like how there's not like as big of a worldly threat, really. Um,
yeah,
Kingpin is a good villain. I like the Goblin as a good villain, as like a side villain. I thought he was good as well. Um, and yeah, it feels like a more personal Miles story.
hmm
It has a lot of
yeah,
iconic scenes, great music.
yeah.
Yeah, really,
You made a good point. Like him not having to save the world, and it's more just about like him. It's like nice
yeah.
to have
I mean,
like a more
it's
grounded
still like
story.
technically, he's like if he doesn't destroy that thing, then like all the universes are gonna.
No, I know.
But it still feels more grounded, just because of
Yeah,
like the characters involved and whatnot.
and most of it takes place on one Earth.
hmm Yeah. So
Yeah.
go ahead. What you got for two?
So my number two is actually Soul, which you just said. You know, but uh, I mean, you summed it up pretty well.
hmm
I feel like it's tough because you always a lot of the ones that like we pick are close, so it's like I don't really have much to say because you pretty much cover it all.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we just talked. Well, you talked about it as well too. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a good pick. Number two for me is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Um, I love the stop motion animation. This is directed by Henry Selick, even though a lot of people always confuse it with being directed by Tim Burton. And this is another one that's just kind of a comfort movie for me. Always have memories of it as a kid.
Yeah.
Love Jack Skellington. I really like the music in the movie. Just the whole feel and look of the world I really
Yeah,
like.
the world is really cool.
And I like how it's short. It's 76 minutes. It just gets
Yeah.
it's in and out. It's it works as a Halloween movie, it works as a Christmas movie. Uh
Yeah.
yeah, and it still has a pretty firm grasp on society today. Like people still talk about this movie and they still sell merchandise from this movie. So it just goes to show like how good it was.
It had such a cultural impact.
hmm
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
So, what's your favorite animated movie?
I think you know what it is already, but my favorite animated movie is actually Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which came out last year. And I really think it's one of the best animated movies I've ever seen in my. I think for me it is, and I think it's
Yeah.
just the story's great, the animation is fantastic, like the voice acting is good, the villain's really good. Like there's just so much I could talk about this movie. Yeah, and honestly, like Matt, you can agree with me. There isn't really a lot that's bad about it.
hmm I agree
Yeah.
with you. I mean, it didn't
It's
crack my
for,
top 10, to be honest. But you're way higher on the movie than I am.
yeah, 4.2 on Letterboxd, so that's actually
Yeah.
crazy for an anime movie.
And it was like insane that this movie just came out of nowhere and did so well. When I saw they're
Yeah,
making a Puss in Boots sequel, I was just like, all right, this is gonna be
whatever. Yeah,
terrible. But they had a great villain, great story. Animation was inspired by Spider-Verse.
yeah,
Um, which goes to show, like, I'm sure you forgot to include Spider-Verse on your list, but I feel like it would be on there.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I had I think a bit more problems with the movie than you did.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I'm excited to see where they take that world because they're definitely going to do sequels. It made a ton of money.
Yeah, and I feel like with them, it's so easy to do stuff because like they just pull from all the fairy tales. Like there's so many things
Yeah,
you could just,
hmm
you know.
100%. All right, so to wrap up the list, I think you know my answer for number one.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
favorite animated movie ever is Ratatouille. I think it's the best Pixar movie, easily.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, I'm just such a huge fan of the story and the setting. Remy as a character. I love the animation and how absurd the story is. I have like so many specific points in the movie that I remember. I really like that scene where he breaks into the old lady's house and he's like trying the cheese and the strawberry together and the way that
yeah.
it like animates how
Always, yeah,
he feels after eating it. That scene is always stuck in my head. I like
yeah,
the ending where he chefs up for the that old guy and he eats the ratatouille and it like
yeah.
brings him back to his childhood. Um, I like how they leave it off where it's just like, oh, they open up a shop like run by rats. It's like it's so stupid, but it's funny. Um, this is one that's always like I always wondered why they never revisited it in a
Yeah, I was
sequel.
just gonna say that. Like, why? It's such. It's high. I feel like it was financially successful. It's very highly rated. Why did they
Yeah,
never like
I
try to
just
do it?
I don't know. And they've done sequels to most Pixar films. Like
Yeah,
think about a lot of the classics, like Toy Story that has multiple sequels.
yeah.
Um, Incredibles got a sequel. Cars got two sequels. The only ones that don't have sequels is like Brave, The Good
Which
Dinosaur. Let me
Ratatouille.
just because I'm curious, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
look because I
Incredibles
think
didn't, but it got one recently. Not recently, but
mhm.
like pretty.
Let's see. Yeah, Cars has sequels. Monsters Inc. has a sequel. Finding Nemo has a sequel. Uh, did I say Incredibles? Inside Out is getting a sequel.
Yeah,
Um, and that's kind of a more recent one. Ratatouille came out in 2007. So Wall-E also doesn't have one, but I
there's
don't really
not
know what
really.
else you could do
Yeah,
with that. There's like such a easy sequel setup. Just have the movie be about like the rats running their new shop and then like whatever conflict comes out. Maybe there's some
just
crazy
Health
inspector that like
Inspector.
wants
Yeah,
to shut them down or something. I just never understood why they didn't want to revisit this one. I feel like eventually they will, but
yeah. I think they
it's
will
been like
too.
15 years since it came
Yeah,
out, you know?
I don't understand why they never tried to. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. But
Because it made money. Like, it's not like it did bad. Like, if you for Brave and the Good Dinosaur, that they those didn't do well. So it's like, all right, I understand that.
yeah, but we'll see. We'll see if the sequel ever sees the light of day. Um, all right, yeah, so that'll wrap up our list. That was a good one. I feel like that was one that we were gonna get to eventually. So,
Yeah, no, I love animated movies.
mhm. All right, so now we can move on to our last film of today, which was one that I recommended last episode, and it is the 1997 dark comedy. I guess I'll call it Funny Games, directed by Michael Haneke. It basically is a film that is about a home invasion, but it's so much deeper than that, and it's not like played for straight horror. It's very
Yeah,
comedic, and it's very tense. It's a very tense movie. From the
yeah.
second that these two characters break into the home, or not even break in, you could
They
tell
just kind
something's
of like
up.
show up. Yeah,
Yeah, as soon as they show up, you're like on the edge of your seat, and it gets very tense. You're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
yeah.
Um, but yeah, for me, this is one of my favorite movies ever. Um, it really had an impact on me the first time I watched it because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know like the whole poking fun at the audience thing and breaking the fourth wall. for a film that came out in 1997, like
Yeah,
there wasn't really. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that this movie is like so ahead of its time with like the meta of it and like poking fun at the fourth wall and stuff. Like
Yeah,
people didn't really start doing that in movies till what recently, right? Like the
yeah,
last maybe
like
like I feel like
Deadpool.
Deadpool was the biggest.
Well,
I know it's been
Scream.
happening
I mean, Scream pokes fun, but not like directly.
not direct. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I feel like I've never seen any movie even remotely be like that. It's actually no. I was gonna say no, never mind. That's it. Yeah, this is like there's no movie really. And this
yeah.
came out
One
what 1990.
1997.
Yeah.
There's also the movie The Holy Mountain. I don't know if you've heard of that from
Uh,
1973. That also did a similar thing with breaking the fourth wall. But aside from that, like I don't really know of any film that directly addresses and sort of critiques the audience as much as this does.
yeah.
And the reason why I like it so much is because I think it works as just a straight home invasion. It is very
No, it
disturbing.
does. Yeah, it
It's
does.
very disturbing what they do
Excuse me.
to what these invaders do to the family, what they do to the kid, how they're basically fucking with them. Like they're playing games with them. That's why it's called
Yeah.
funny games. They're not just like, oh, like we're gonna kidnap you and do all this stuff. They're like, oh, we want to play a game, choose which one, pick a number, like choose which one of like your family members dies. It's like fucked up.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of disturbing imagery as well. I think one of the scenes that sticks out of my head is when he's like making the mom search for the dead body of the dog, and he's like, oh, you're getting warmer, warmer,
Yeah.
colder, and then she opens the car door and like the dog just like the body falls out of the
Falls
door.
out, yeah.
And it's like it's so dark, but yet it's kind of comedic with how
And then he looks back at the camera like as he's like
yeah.
telling her. Like so he looks at the audience and like
Mhm.
smirks and then looks
That's
back. Like
yeah. Those fourth wall breaks are really eerie. They're very
yeah.
creepy.
I
Um,
love that. Like that was I enjoyed that part of the movie the most was when it played into that aspect of it
mhm.
because it doesn't do it. There's only like a couple. I mean, not like a couple. I mean, they do it
Yeah,
pretty.
there's only a couple.
Yeah,
My favorite
but
scene is probably well, I think I would say the rewinding scene where like
yeah,
it gets
yeah. So
messed up.
so what happened? I guess we could explain that.
Yeah.
So at one point, so they choose first. They say they're gonna play a game, and they choose somebody to shoot, and they end up shooting this couple's son. And then like they're gonna play the game again, and they're not paying attention, and the mom grabs the gun and shoots like the guy in the stomach, and
Mhm.
the other person starts flipping out. He's like, "Oh, where's the remote? Where's the remote?" Like starts bugging out, looking
Yeah.
for the like remote, and you're at the audience. You're kind of like, "What the fuck?" But I mean, like I'm sure like I knew immediately what was gonna happen, but he takes the remote and presses the rewind button and rewinds like the scene, almost like from I hate to be like quote the MCU and shit, but like from WandaVision when they redo the
Yeah.
scene, like, and it's so like creative and unique, and to do that back then in
Mhm.
1997 is insane.
Yeah.
Like it's so like I'm dumbfounded by that they were able to even like put ballsy enough to put that in a movie without any because no the audience has like they could have just seen that and
Yeah.
completely hated
Like
it.
yeah, nowadays people kind of accept like outrageous things in movies like that. Back then it wasn't so, like people weren't as experimental as they are now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, one thing I noticed about the movie is they don't really show any of the violence. The only
Yeah, it's
violence
more implied violence.
the only violence that's shown is when the dude gets shot with the shotgun and then they rewind it. Um, but yeah, the whole reason why he rewinds it is because he's like, they keep looking at the audience and they're kind of like shaming the audience. They're like,
Yeah, they're like,
oh,
you want me to do this, right? Like, you
yeah.
want
They're
us
like, wait,
to.
like you want the violence, right? Like you want
Yeah,
us to torture this family.
yeah.
And then,
Honestly, yeah. Now that the more I'm thinking about it, this might get a little boost up in rating.
yeah. Um, I feel like it's one that you have to like rewatches help it, and also like the more you think about it, the more you kind of appreciate what
Yeah,
it's doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was gonna say one of my favorite scenes is when I forget the exact quote of dialogue, but it's like I think maybe the parents are like they're begging, they're like, isn't this enough what you're doing to us? And then the dude Paul looks at the camera and he's like, I don't know, like what do you guys think? Is this enough or should we keep
Yeah.
going? And it's kind of like
Yeah.
it gave me chills. I was like, oh my God, like because we're kind of as an audience we want, and this
You
is
want
another
yeah,
thing,
you
you want to see like the action, you want to see them getting
yeah.
abused, but then it's like when you start to think about it, it's like why do
It's
you
fucked
want to
up,
see
man.
this? Yeah. And one thing that I think was done on purpose, which I noticed on the rewatch, is like when there's the scene of like after the people leave and then it's sort of just the mom and the dad in the house trying to like cope with what just happened. Like their son just got shot in the head. His body's
Yeah.
laying on the floor. I think that scene is or that segment of the movie is purposefully dragged out and made very slow and very boring to sort of like get this idea in your head of like, no, I don't want to see this. I want to see them being tortured. They purposely make that part more boring to watch because they want to
Yeah.
instill this idea in your head of you wanting to see, you know, the
That get
terrible
murked,
things.
basically, yeah.
Yeah. So that is actually very smart. Although it makes the movie drag a little bit in that segment, I
Yeah.
think that for
Like
the
that's something that because my complaints like when I reviewed it was that at like kind of in the middle of the second, third act, it kind of slows down a little bit. But
yeah.
like you don't like now, like you explaining it to me, it makes me appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah. Because it really makes you think about why, as an audience, do we want to see this violence? Why are we like
Yeah.
wishing for them to get killed instead of them to figure out a way to escape? And I think that there are also some comedic elements with them in that segment trying to escape. There's all these reasons of like why they can't leave. They're like, oh, the gate's locked. Somehow their house is locked from the inside, so they have to. That doesn't make any sense. They have to
Yeah.
like go out through the window. They can't call the police because they don't know the number to the police, which doesn't make any sense. It's just like stuff to purposely drag out this conflict.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think all the performances were phenomenal. I would
Yeah.
say my favorite
Agreed.
character, I
The
think, is
mother is
Paul. Is
Oh, I
Paul?
thought yeah. I thought you were
He's like,
saying the performances.
yeah, no. The performances, yeah. The mother was fantastic. There's a lot of scenes of her. Like I remember when they he like escapes and then the car drives by and it cuts back to them being kidnapped again. I guess the car was um what's it called?
Well,
The car was the kidnappers were in the car.
Oh yeah,
And it cuts back and like it's her being gagged and like her head is all back, her face is like
yeah.
covered in sweat and like her eyes are swollen.
Yeah.
It's a very physical performance by her.
Yeah.
Um, she was great. Who was your favorite character? Do you think?
Probably the John. What did you say? Johnny was his name?
Or Paul?
Paul. I'm sorry.
He's like the tall one.
Yeah. No, I know. I know. I just feel like he's the most comedic. He's
Yeah,
actually funny. Like his lines are funny. Like he calls the other guy fatso all the time.
yeah, yeah. The guy keeps telling him not to call him Fatso.
Fatso. Yeah.
I like how they play around with the parents though so much when they tell the story about how like the chubby guy was like a victim of abuse and all this
Abuse.
stuff.
Yeah.
He starts crying. They try to like make you feel bad for him,
Yeah.
and then he's just like, "Nah, I just made all that up," and like they start laughing. Um,
He said they
also,
were gonna be. What's the
yeah,
other thing they said? They're like, oh, we're both drug dealers, and we just go in people's houses and
yeah, I forget.
forgot the line.
Um, I like how also they try to like act as if they're being respectful. They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, all we want is this," or all you have to do is cooperate, and like they act like they're in the right. I thought
Yeah.
that was funny too. I
They're
love
like
their outfits.
gaslighting them. Yeah, I love the outfits too.
Yeah,
Like it's just such a simple,
the
but
white
it's
gloves.
very but it's just very like remember like
hmm It's memorable.
anytime
Yeah,
I see that outfit, I'm gonna think about the movie.
yeah. Um, and I think I originally when I first watched this, I wrote in my review that I s- I saw a lot of like inspiration that maybe Yorgos Lanthimos may have
Yeah,
took from this
yeah,
movie.
from
And I noticed it again this time. I was like, there's so many scenes where like I could think of Yorgos, especially Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Hey Deer, yeah. That was the
There,
biggest one to me.
like the son getting the bag over his head and then getting shot.
Yeah,
It's it's and there were also other aspects of it which reminded me of Yorgos's work a lot.
yeah.
Um,
And I'm not even like I haven't seen all of Yorgos's films, but even I could tell that he's obviously holds this film pretty highly if he has that much. He has a pretty big influence in his movies.
yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard of this director, Michael Haneke, or no.
I don't think so.
He's very like well known in like cinephile communities. If you go to his letterbox and like scroll through his movies, they're all like fours for the most part, which is pretty insane.
Yeah.
Um, he's just
What's he
always
do?
out there. I don't know if you've seen this movie he has called The Piano Teacher. I feel like Black Swan, I think, was inspired by it, and Black Swan's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, a lot of his stuff was kind of just like he did it first, and then other people took inspiration from it and made, some great movies nowadays.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
yeah, it is kind of a
Yeah.
movie that you have to experience it, and I wish because you didn't know about the fourth wall stuff, really, right?
No, I had an idea because I've seen like clips of it and I've seen him looking at the camera smirking, so I knew there was something, but I didn't know to what aspect it would be.
Yeah, dude, I can't even describe the first time that I watched this. I was watching it alone, and then I'm so engrossed in the scene. The parents are begging for their lives. They're like, "Is this enough? Like, isn't this enough?" And then the dude just looks at me, and he's like, "I don't know. Is it enough?" Like, it actually gave me chills when I watched it the first time.
I feel like you have to you have, and not to sound like an asshole, but you have to be it's more about understanding it than actually
Mhm.
if that
Yeah,
makes
it's
sense.
yeah, yeah. Because it's not necessarily the most enjoyable watch
No.
per se, but just appreciating what it does and what it's saying for the time that it was released. I mean, not to say that it's a bad movie otherwise. I liked the cinematography. I liked where it was set. There are other aspects that I liked. I think the camera
Yeah.
work was good. How shots were framed, I think was good. Um, but it is a lot of appreciating what it was doing for the time and how
Yeah,
out
no.
there it was.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Yeah.
did you have a favorite scene?
I mean, I liked a lot of the scenes with the fourth wall breaking. I mean, the one that sticks out the most obviously is the um when he turns to the audience, but when he rewinds, I really enjoyed that. I thought that
Yeah,
was a really cool creative choice.
yeah. I love the thing with the eggs. Their ongoing thing with the eggs.
Thing with the eggs, yeah.
It's
Because
just like it.
basically the whole home invasion starts because this guy knocks on a door and is like, I'm from next door. Do you have any eggs? I'm baking a cake, or I forgot what he's something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And he's walking out and he drops the eggs, and then from there it just kind of
yeah,
ensue it just
yeah.
spirals at
Hmm.
But that's what triggers this whole thing is him dropping the eggs, which is kind of
Yeah,
funny.
and that happens within the home invasion starts within the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
very
it's very
quick.
quick. Yeah,
It gets right to it, which I
yeah,
also really liked because it kind of drags you. It pulls you in with that, and then it gets to the more out there concepts later on, which I
yeah,
think is good. Um, and the eggs are kind of iconic with the movie. Like a lot of the posters for the movie have the eggs on the floor as the poster. Um, and I really love the ending when they go to the next house and
yeah. And he
he's
smirks
like
again. Yeah,
he's like, "Oh, do you think we could borrow some eggs?" And then he turns to the camera and the music starts playing and Funny Games. The title card comes up. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, this is one that I would just recommend to go watch for yourself. Sort of just lock in. Probably maybe watch it with someone else.
Yeah,
And
I agree. I feel like you need to just put your phone away and
yeah,
just
you got to experience it.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, for ratings, for me, this is a 5-star film. It's a 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed the movie itself and the story, and what the characters did, how it looked, the music. But again, like I mentioned, just for what it was and how ahead of its time it was, and the way it critiques the audience, it just bumps it that much higher for me. I appreciate it and I love it. So yeah.
Yeah, I initially gave it a 4, but upon like just discussing it, like I think it deserves a 4.5. Just for I mean everything that it does with the fourth wall breaking and how meta it is, and I just think for that alone, it just deserves to get such a high rating.
And one thing also is this director remade an English version of the same movie,
Yeah, I was
which
gonna say that. Yeah.
I'm not really. It has a little bit lower rating. I think it has like a 3.7 or something on Letterboxd
Mhm.
average, which is still good. So I'm curious
Yeah.
how they handled that and like how they did the fourth wall breaking in that. I wonder if it was like a shot for shot remake or if it's a little different.
I
But
feel like it's gonna be
it is kind
they're
of cool
gonna
that
well.
what? No, I was gonna say it is kind of cool that a director gets to like another chance to remake his own movie. So I do want to watch that at some point.
Yeah, that is interesting because I wonder if like because what are the biggest complaints from this one? Not that they're like probably what that there's a little section that's boring. That's like the
Well, a lot of people kind of feel like offended because they're like, "Oh, why is this movie criticizing me for liking violence?" And like, I don't really see it that way at
no,
all.
I
You
don't
know,
either.
it does
I don't think it's not trying to make you feel guilty. It's just trying to make you like it just makes you think.
acknowledge it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's trying to make you like question why you think this way. You know.
yeah. It's not trying. It's not
hmm
it's not telling you not to watch violent movies. Like at the end of the day, it's still fake. It's not. No one's actually getting hurt.
Yeah, they have a conversation on the boat towards the end about the separating fiction from reality. I don't know if you remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I like before they like kick her off the boat.
hmm
Yeah, a little bit.
And they're like, yeah, they were talking about like, how a lot of it's just like a lot of it's just fiction. They're kind of it's meta commentary on like the movie
Yeah,
itself. Then they go through all this and they're like, yeah, and then they just push her off the
knock her off the
boat.
boat.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot about that. But yeah, I'm glad you watched this. This is
Yeah,
like,
I'm glad I did too. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
yeah, and also we didn't even mention it's a foreign language. It's in German.
Yeah,
So
it's in German. Yeah,
yeah, it's like kind of an inaccessible film. Like I don't even know if you've heard of it before.
I've heard of it before, and I've seen like posters. It's just from being like in the film community, but like I've never actually watched it.
Yeah. So there's only a couple of my favorites now that I haven't recommended. So I'm glad we got to this one.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like we've got to a bunch of favors.
Yeah. All right. So I think that pretty much wraps up the episode.
Yeah.
I never posted the question poll, so again, we have no questions. But yeah, I just forgot, dude. I've
Nah,
been
that's
kind of
alright.
busy with work and
Nah, bro,
whatnot.
I literally missed the movie this week. So
Yeah, we've been slacking. We've been
yeah,
slacking. Our real life
well,
adult responsibilities are
abilities
catching
have
up
been
to us.
yeah. Don't worry, we're gonna come back strong when I get back from Japan.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, I guess you could recommend a movie. I'll recommend a list, but we're gonna have to update you guys later on about
Yeah, what about what's actually gonna
what.
happen?
Yeah, with episode 43, it's at
Yeah.
least 3 weeks from
I think
now.
3 weeks because I get back the 22nd and I work the 23rd and 24th, so I'm probably gonna be off the 25th. Actually, wait, I
Okay.
can tell you right now. Hold on.
Yeah, but whatever. We'll figure it out. It'll probably be towards the end of February. Will be our next
Yeah,
episode. Um. So there's a lot of shit coming out. We'll probably talk about Madam Web, I'm sure. We'll talk
yeah,
about maybe Lisa Frankenstein.
fine. Yeah, actually I got invited to an early screening by Letterbox, which was kind of cool. That I've never seen. You get invited to a couple the screenings. That
Yeah,
never
yeah,
happened to me. So,
yeah,
but I'm gonna be away, or else I would have went.
yeah. Um, but yeah, we'll figure it out. So yeah, maybe you want
Yeah,
to give your recommendation.
yeah. So, my recommendation this episode, well, for next episode, is Army of Darkness, directed by Sam Raimi, which is the third installment, technically, of the Evil Dead franchise. So, at the end of the second one, he gets transported through the book, right? Through
Yeah,
to
he like gets sucked into a portal.
yeah. It doesn't. I forgot where. It's like a medieval kind of
Yeah.
evil. You know,
Mhm.
it's definitely
And
more comedy than horror in this one.
yeah.
Still fun though.
I'm glad. I'm like excited to recheck it out because
Yeah.
it was my least favorite of the trilogy.
Yeah, I like
Um,
prefer the more horror ones. That's why I like the Evil Dead Rise so much. But
mhm.
it's still I love Sam Raimi, so I mean,
Yeah. All right. And yeah, for my list, I think I want to do our top 10 favorite movie villains
well, that's a really good one
for the
actually.
next one. So,
That's a very good
yeah.
one.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll see if Darth Vader makes his way on there.
Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe Thanos might sneak on.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, so thanks everyone for listening. That wraps up episode 42. Joe, have fun in Japan.
Yeah. I'll
Um,
see you guys next time. You'll hear me. I'll been to Asia.
all right. Make sure not to pick up a Japanese accent for when you get back.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, yeah, thanks everyone
Yeah.
for listening, and we will be back in possibly 3 weeks to a month. Follow us and
Peace.
everything. Letterboxd, Instagram, everything. Goodbye.